performance of these two bodies is even. But to match Anubis, Jehuty lacks one thing. A program to bring out the full performance of Jehuty. That depends on the skill of the runner.
Get out of my way!
My opponent is running dual Majestics with dual laser shotguns on Lammergeier legs. I am as much of a fan as I am scared of it. But is it a match for Jehuty from Zone of the Enders? I mean, orbital frames are technologically superior, so there is that. And putting together this build was bittersweet because I've been playing Metal Gear Solid Delta, and I got to the cutscene where there's a nice little Easter egg where you see Jehuty in a model kit form, and the graphics looked so good. I want a sequel so bad, not even remakes of the first two games again, because there's so much potential. I really should change my booster. I need something to keep me airborne longer. Because when it comes to favorite mecha series, in no particular order for me, it's Armored Core, Zone of the Enders, and Gundam, and at least 2 out of the 3 are doing something, while Zone of the Enders is sadly in purgatory. Even more sad to know we were going to get a 3rd game until it was cancelled. Also, post in the comments, who do you think is the better pilot of Jehuty? Leo Stenbuck or Dingo Egret? And if you haven't played Zone of the Enders, let me know which pilot is your favorite in any mecha series. Now, at the subject at hand, that was dangerously close. I gotta give it to Dingo. Personally, I not only think he was a better pilot, but a more interesting character as a whole. Wow, they took offense to that. You must be a hardcore Leo fan. But nothing against Leo. I just think that his story in the first Zone of the Enders was pretty close to literally any Gundam protagonist in any of the series. And there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like Dingo being thrown in the middle of the conflict of Barum by just being at the wrong place at the wrong time doing his job makes his character development more interesting. I won't go into spoilers, so I'll leave it at that. It's a good thing my opponent isn't nearly as airborne, and the fully charged Moonlight landing is a welcome sight. Good game. Off to a strong start with Jehuty. If I can pull off a win against this build, I'm pretty confident for future matchups. A rematch, but you traded the bazookas for 10 cells and got rid of the Lammergeier legs. I have to be brutally honest, that is a straight up downgrade. Again, I've covered this in my build video talking about those laser shotguns, but unless you're using them on legs that bypass firing stance, you are at a disadvantage. Case in point, they're having a tougher time landing their charged attacks. You might as well use the standard attacks and not go for the charged ones. See, I was standing perfectly still in firing stance, and they still missed. I'll give it to their agility being on point, but everything else, yeah, this is definitely not working in your favor. I just realized I failed to go back to the garage and swap out my build's boosters. Whoops. I mean, my current choice is not hurting my performance by any means, but I need something with better airborne stats. Like right there, I would have had an easy follow-up. No, no, no. Okay, good thing that was not a charged attack. Alright, now it's anyone's game. No room for error. Nice. See, you lost the round because you were stuck in firing stance, but if that hit had landed, would have been a completely different story. GG. I am looking forward to this. I fought the same player earlier when testing out different variations of Jehuty, so I want to see how V2 is going to perform here. And I remembered to swap out the boosters this time. I think it's going to make a huge difference. This build's strength is airborne combat after all, And I gotta make it more difficult for my opponent to hit with that coral oscillator. Unless they go for the charged attack. Might be a different story. But I can technically counterattack with the charged Moonlight. Or just hit them with the charged laser shotty. That also works. Oh no. No, the building's in the way! Not risking it. Good thing I popped my pulse armor. I cannot afford mistakes like that. And they ran right into the charged Moonlight. I almost forgot you had assault armor. I was tempted to go in for a kick. Now I'm really glad I didn't get greedy. Alright, so far so good. Doing much better. This take on Jehuty's proving to be the best one so far. Oh, they're angry. They're rushing in. Oh, that was not worth it. That was not worth it. That's what I get for trying to go for style points. Barely dodged the charged Harris attack. Ooh, that could have been a nasty clash if he went in my face. Oh, they're so close. This is intense. I don't want to get hit by the Morley or that coral oscillator. That was still a close call. I definitely made the right choice switching the boosters, and good game again. Somebody's on their promotion phase, and with the Nightfall preset, no less. That's an interesting choice. At least I'm pretty sure that's the original Nightfall, right? I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. Then again, I remember facing a few snail players that swapped out a few weapons on his AC. But this looks pretty much identical to the original, Songbird and everything. Which means this is basically a protagonist showdown. Armored Core versus Zone of the Enders. I like it. Oh, big damage. I was not sure if he had assault armor, but I'm glad I saved my expansion for that. Do not want to get hit by a fully charged pile bunker immediately after being staggered. I do wonder how Nightfall is going to perform when I finally get to it during my Nuzlocke challenge. I know you were going for cover, but it looks like cover betrayed you. You are not hitting me with those songbirds. I hate to say it, but those things are super inaccurate. You're lucky to hit one of the two shots, let alone both. Unfortunately, they were out of reach. Otherwise, that combo will do insane amounts of damage. I risked it, but I had a feeling they were not going to try to get in close to hit me with assault armor. If they did, I would have probably been in big trouble. Oh no, a laser swap build? I haven't seen one in a while. Which is honestly surprising because laser swaps are pretty effective against pretty much any matchup. Whew, I gotta be real careful here. Yep, it begins! It begins! My health is dropping like crazy. And of course I'm on a lightweight, so it's not gonna take a lot of attacks on their end to drop me down to 0. And I don't like I have to stay still for the Moonlight. Standing still against a laser swap is not advised. All good damage. Oh, and they have terminal armor on top of that. Of course they do. What kind of a person puts terminal armor on a laser swap? Wait a second. I'm that kind of person. I remembered my laser swap build that I covered on the channel literally uses the same expansion. Never mind. If I'm going to survive here, I have to stay airborne for as long as possible and maintain distance. Don't want to make it easy for them to melt me. Oh, Again, standing still while hitting them with the moonlight is not an option. I need to time it in a way where I know it's going to make a difference. Like right now. That's big. And now that I know you have that particular expansion, I have to try to save my pulse armor. Oh, no, that's not good. There we go. Now I'm confident. They still hit me. Good lord, I am in the red. Oh, it was getting scary there for a second. But that's good. I have a shot here. I have to lock in. Again, you see the results. It's pretty surprising laser swaps are not more popular in ranked PvP. I'm not complaining because the build is absolutely crazy in terms of raw DPS and how often you can attack. I tried to time that, and unfortunately it did not end well. I hope that does not cost me the round. That was not worth the trade. That was not worth the trade. If you think I'm going to retreat and turn my back on those weapons, you got another thing coming. No. Oh, thank goodness that's over with. All I had to do was lock in, and it was still extremely close. Oh, it's over. Much like Jehuty's Orbital Frame twin, Anubis, this build performs really well in Armored Core 6 ranked PvP. In terms of frame parts, I was pretty confident with everything except finding the right arm, since nothing really has the right shoulder shape. But these at least have the elbows that look similar to the hidden blade Jehuty is sporting, and with some decal work it really sells the overall finish. And when it comes to weapons, because this is based on V2, I had to go with the laser orbit, as this version of Jehuty has more ranged options. And the Aurora is literally the spitting image of some of those ranged attacks that Jehuty has access to from the very beginning of the game. The same can be said for the laser shoddy, as its attacks are almost identical to some of Jehuty's moves in both Zone of the Enders games. And the Moonlight was really a no-brainer. It's a protruding blade, gives me access to charged attacks or rapid swings, ensuring that the identity of Jehuty is preserved even in Armored Core. If you enjoyed this, please be sure to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And until next time, take care.